the amazing Spider-Man. Half man, half reptile, will take over all of Earth unless Spider-Man alone can stop him. The Marvel Age of Comics is here, face to face with the Lizard. It is common knowledge that Spider-Man is the most successful new superhero since the Fantastic Four. This, the latest and possibly the greatest of all his adventures, will show you why the mysterious masked teenager has become America's super sensation. Written by Stan Lee, drawn by Steve Ditko, lettered by Art Semick. A 21-page Spider-Man super epic. Another proud production of the mighty Marvel Comics group. A superhero is nothing without a supervillain, and our latest supervillain appears, without warning, in the murky swamps of Florida's Everglades. This is the first encounter between mankind and the Lizard.
Begone! This swamp is mine.
What? What is it?
A giant lizard, but it talks.
It walks like a man. Whatever it is, it's attacking us. Look, bullets don't stop it.
You dare defy the lizard? You'll pay for that folly.
He snapped that huge tree as if it were cardboard. Run! We've got to get away from here.
Flee, puny humans. This swamp is mine. Here the lizard reigns supreme.
Boy, he doesn't have to tell me twice.
Like wildfire, the reports of the human lizard spread throughout the Everglades, the state, and the entire nation.
They say it walks and talks like a man.
It has a strength of a dozen bulldozers.
Bullets cannot harm it. What is it? Who is it?
Nobody can ever track it down. Nobody would dare invade its dark domain.
Even as far north as New York, the name of the lizard is on everyone's lips.
Extra! Read all about the lizard! Extra! Extra!
I'd like a paper too, but I'll get it my own way.
And so, quietly, secretly, America's most mysterious superhero learns about the nation's newest menace for the first time.
What kind of cornball gag is this? Every publicity mad nut and his brother try to challenge me to something or other. Well, I'll change to Peter Parker and go see Mr. Jameson. Maybe he'll send me to Florida to snap some photos of that lizard character.
A few minutes later, at the office of the Daily Bugle.
You're out of your mind, Parker. I just printed that challenge headline to sell papers. The lizard is probably just a phony anyway. I'm not paying you to waste time.
But if Spider-Man does fight him, think what a scoop we could get.
Don't make me laugh. If there really is a giant lizard down south, Spider-Man will never tackle him. He'd rather stay here, fighting two-bit hoods and making a rep for himself.
I should have known old Hatchetface would turn me down.
Next day, at the Natural History Museum.
I figure it won't hurt me to learn all I can about lizards, just in case. So, I might as well start with the biggest ones, the dinosaurs.
Hey Liz, wouldn't you know we'd find Bookworm Parker here?
Hush, Flash. I want to hear the lecture.
If their intelligence had matched their size, they might still rule the Earth today. Their hides were so thick that if they lived today, no gun smaller than a cannon could injure them.
My spider sense is tingling. Those two men coming in. It's due to them.
No one saw us take the idols, Ruby. Now let's scram.
They've stolen something. I can sense it. Have to follow them.
Don't like the way that kid's looking at us.
Me neither. Come on.
Oh, he's harmless. He's going in the other room.
Lucky for him. If he came any closer, I'd have to let him have it.
I'll duck in here and change to Spider-Man. There is not much more I can learn about dinosaurs. And this is a lot more fun. What's the commotion out there? It's the guard. He's chasing those two. He saw them steal something. But they pulled a gun, seized one of the kids. It's Liz.
Okay, so you saw us grab that Ruby, but we're getting out of here anyway, and we're taking this gal with us for protection.
Please, let them go. Don't try to stop them. They seem so desperate.
You two won't get away with this.
I'll say they won't. I see that Flash Thompson, Liz's loudmouth date, isn't doing her any good, but Bookworm Parker has a few tricks up his little sleeve. Hold it, boys. You're missing one of the most interesting exhibits, namely me.
It's Spider-Man.
What do we do now?
I'll answer that question. You hit my eager little fist with your big strong chins, like this.
Spider-Man! You saved me from those two gunmen.
The pleasure was all mine, Blue Eyes. I'm just enough of a show-off to enjoy these little incidents, but I'd better cut out before someone wonders where Peter Parker is.
Minutes later.
Liz, come on, snap out of it. This is Flash. Don't you remember me?
Flash? Flash who? All I can remember are Spider-Man's strong arms around me.
Made it. Nobody even missed me.
He saved me. He called me Blue Eyes. I'll never forget him.
Nuts. Competition like you, I can handle, Parker. But what do I do about Spider-Man?
Just one thing, pal. Worry.
At that moment, a boy passes by listening to the news on his transistor portable radio.
The nation wonders why Spider-Man has avoided going after the lizard.
That settles it. I've got to find a way to get Jameson to send me to Florida.
And so, not long after...
Who's that?
Well, it's not Fats Domino. Hands off your intercom, Jonah, old chum. Let's keep this nice and private.
A web! Got to get out! Get help!
Hold it, Smiley. Where's your hospitality? Jameson, you've been writing editorials against me, talking on radio and TV against me. And you know something? I'm beginning to think you don't like me.
Let me down.
What's the rush? I have a news item for you. I'm going to accept the lizard's challenge. So, if you want to see what I can really do, you'd better send a photographer to Florida to cover the story. As for my web, it'll loosen in a minute and you'll come down. Boy, will you come down. That does it. Now, I have to hope he's convinced enough to send Pete Parker to Florida, because I haven't enough money to get there by myself. Some superhero I am, too broke to buy a plane ticket to meet a new enemy.
Miss Brandt, stop gapping and call Peter Parker. I want to see him here at once. But first, put some soft cushions on the floor under me.
Yes, sir.
Ow! Never mind those cushions.
Poor gentle Jonah.
Exactly 5 minutes later.
Peter, where have you been? Mr. Jameson has been looking everywhere for you.
No wonder he didn't find me. I haven't been everywhere. You know, Betty, I've been wanting to ask you something.
Yes, Peter?
Parker, get in here. I've decided to send you to Florida after all, to try to get some pictures of the lizard and Spider-Man, if he shows up.
That's great. When do I start?
Start packing now. We're leaving as soon as possible.
We're leaving?
That's right. It's such a big story that I'm going with you. I'm not taking any chances of a slip-up. Besides, I can use a trip to Florida.
Oh, brother. If he tags along, how'll I be able to keep switching from Pete Parker to Spider-Man? I'll have to get permission from my Aunt May.
Minutes later, at home.
You want to go to Florida? With that horrible lizard running loose down there? Oh, no, Peter, it's out of the question.
But Mr. Jameson is going with me.
You mean J. Jonah Jameson, the nice man you do part-time work for? Oh, in that case, I suppose it's all right. I know that he'll take good care of you.
He's like a big, fat guardian angel, Aunt May.
And so, the next day...
What are you lugging there, Parker?
A lot of clippings about the lizard, and maps of the area where he's been seen.
Glad to see you're thinking ahead, Parker. You haven't sold me too many sensational pictures lately. You better not disappoint me this time.
Oh, perish forbid.
But unnoticed by Jonah Jameson, the sharp-eyed Peter Parker scans a few other items.
Dr. Connors, the reptile expert, lives near the Everglades area. He might be of some help.
Finally, at the airport in Florida,
I'll go and get some fresh film and equipment while you get settled in the hotel.
Make it snappy. Why didn't you buy that junk in New York instead of doing it here on my time?
Because then I wouldn't have had a chance to change to Spider-Man. That's why the lizard area is blocked off by armed patrols. I wonder what kind of blip I'd make on a radar screen.
But although he is not detected by radar, Spider-Man is observed by something far more dangerous. The eyes of the lizard.
Enemy coming. Must hide then attack.
I don't like it. It's too quiet here. Unnaturally quiet. It's a creepy feeling. My spider sense is starting to tingle, but I don't see anything. My foot! Something grabbed me from behind. Something powerful. Can't keep my balance. It's him! The lizard! Lizard or not, a glob of mud pushed in his face ought to slow him down a little. I'm out! Couldn't have held my breath much longer. He's out too. Still can't figure out who or what he really is.
The swampland is mine. I have warned the world. But you invade my domain, and so you are doomed.
Sure. Every time I turn around, I get doomed by someone else. He's fast. His tail almost got me that time. Strange. He doesn't seem to be wearing a disguise. That grotesque form is really him. I'd better knock some of the fight out of him. If I can just hang on to his tail. Suffering spider webs? He's 12 times stronger than I thought. Boy, when I make a mistake, it's a beaut. Look out below. He threw me almost half a mile. Lucky these trees broke my fall. Say, that must be Dr. Connors' house. He's the reptile expert I wanted to see. I'd better warn him how near the lizard is. Gosh, that woman in there, she's crying. Don't see Dr. Connors around. Well, I've got to speak to the woman. Warn her of the lizard.
Spider-Man!
Don't be afraid. I'm here to help you. I wanted to talk to your husband. Ask his advice about reptiles. But there's no time now. You've got to leave. The lizard is nearby.
Leave? Oh, no, you don't understand. My husband, Dr. Curtis Connors, is the lizard.
What?
If a lower order of life, such as certain types of lizards, lose a leg or any base extremity, they often simply grow a new one. If only I could learn how it is done and apply the secret to humans. Think what it would mean. A man might grow a new pair of legs or arms, perhaps even new eyes or a new heart. I've got to find the secret.
Oh, Curtis, if only you could. Curtis Connors was a good husband, a good father. His son Billy adored him, and so did I.
Daddy, what are you working on now?
Something to make you proud of me, Billy. Something to help all of mankind.
After months of experimentation,
The serum which I extracted from my experimental lizards worked. That rabbit grew a new leg within an hour. Now all that remains is for me to try it on a human. And what better subject can there be than myself?
Curtis, are you sure it's safe? Curtis! He drank the bubbling serum before I could stop him. And then...
My right shoulder. Such a strange sensation. I feel life returning.
And then...
I've done it. I've grown a new arm. This is the greatest medical feat of all time.
But the change didn't end there. No, the hand, the arm, all of Curtis Connors began to change until...
What has happened to me? What have I done?
Curtis, what is it?
No, stay away. Don't look at me. Don't!
Trembling, sobbing, like a man possessed, the creature who had been Curtis Connors raced out into the night. Curtis! He returned the next day. He tried to work on a new serum, one which would make him human again, but it was hopeless. His brain had been too dulled, too changed.
Cannot do it. Must give up.
And that was the end. He left a note saying goodbye. He was afraid to remain, afraid because of what he had become.
Take Billy. Leave. Never come back.
Then, at that moment...
Mommy!
It's Billy! I thought he was taking his nap.
The cry came from outside. Perhaps my spider sense will lead me to him.
Meanwhile, not far away, the terrified boy races through the swamp, having seen a sight which seemed to be out of a nightmare.
I did not mean to frighten you.
Help!
Come back!
That snake! I can't get out of its way in time.
Suddenly, a colorful, fast-moving figure swings down from above and...
Got you!
Oh!
Billy, stay up there. Don't let go. Ow! His skin is hard as a dinosaur's armor. I almost broke my hand, and he hardly felt it. I'll try to hold him with my web until... No, that's no good either. He snapped it with his tail as if it were made of paper.
Minutes later...
My husband? Did you see him? Is he...
He's all right. For now. but he gets less human each minute.
Mommy, that man saved me. I know who you are. I saw pictures of you. You're Spider-Man.
That's right, Billy, and I'm going to take you home safely now. I want to see your husband's notes, Mrs. Connors, before it's too late. It's a good thing I'm a science major in high school, so the kids make fun of me and call me a bookworm, do they? Well, this bookworm is going to find an antidote for the lizard.
Gosh, are you a scientist too, Spider-Man?
Hours later.
We'll soon find out if I'm a scientist or not. I'll drop a pellet of the compound I created into this test tube. When it hits the solution within, if it turns green, then I've succeeded in finding an antidote. Here goes. It changed color. I've done it. Once the lizard drinks this formula, he'll revert to his normal self again. But there is still one problem remaining. How am I going to get him to drink?
Spider-Man, look.
You are the only one who does not fear me. Once I destroy you, all mankind will tremble before the lizard.
Quick, take the test tube. Don't let it spill. I've got to reason with him.
You can't. He grows less human each minute. He doesn't even seem to know me now.
At last, I see fear in your eyes, for you know I have the power to rid the world of Spider-Man. My skin is as hard as armor, and my muscles are equally as strong, stronger by far than yours.
He's right. He's hurling that huge oak desk as if it's weightless.
How hopeless you are in the face of my battering attack.
Don't know where to turn. His arms, his tail, all striking at once. Such strength. It's unbelievable.
Within a few savage seconds, the unequal battle is ended.
Now there is none to stop me. Now I am supreme. All I need to do is feed my serum to other lizards, crocodiles, and alligators. I'll build a mighty lizard army.
But the lizard has made his first serious mistake. Underestimated the strength and stamina of his super foe.
Spider-Man, thank heaven you're still alive.
He knocked the wind out of me for a minute. He's stronger than I had guessed.
It is not only his strength that was affected, but his brain. He plans to inject his serum in giant lizards, making them like he is, creating a savage, superpower, full lizard army.
Do you realize how many lizards there are on Earth? Mankind wouldn't stand a chance. He must be stopped quickly before he creates the first super lizard. Otherwise, they will multiply too fast to ever be checked.
Here's the antidote. How will you get him to drink it?
I don't know yet, but the first thing I must do is track him down now. You and your son remain here. I don't think he will return.
He is stronger than you, and he has become ruthless. Perhaps you should get help.
There isn't time for that. Whatever must be done by Spider-Man alone. I'll build some web swamp shoes for my feet.
Don't hurt him, Spider-Man. He's still my father.
The boy is right. Beneath the savage exterior of the lizard is a decent, talented man. But how can I defeat him and save myself without harming him? Luckily, his trail is still recent enough for my spider sense to track him. And I can keep these swamp snakes at bay as long as my web fluid holds out. I sense him more clearly than ever now. He must be inside that old abandoned Spanish fort. And now for the showdown! There he is! But am I too late?
The scene is so amazing, so fraught with drama, that Spider-Man takes a few fast pictures of it as he frantically tries to plan his next move.
He's surrounded by huge alligators, but they seem to be obedient to him.
And now for our great moment, my pets. We shall be the first of Earth's new rulers. The humans will have no place to run, no place to hide from us. For lizards are part of the reptile family, which includes you, the snakes, and all the crawling hordes. Think of the countless millions of reptiles that are in the Everglades alone. Once I spill my serum into the murky waters, nothing will stop the birth of a new race of lizard creatures. And I shall be the master of an entire planet. Now, follow me while I go to prepare the serum. Our supreme moment is near at hand.
Good. Then I'm still in time. He hasn't started his deadly chain reaction yet.
But unexpectedly, the ancient time-worn mortar crumbles beneath Spider-Man's weight, and
I'm falling!
You still live.
Well, this solves my first problem. The problem of when to attack. Looks like it's now or never.
Get him, my pets. Spider-Man must never leave here alive.
You've had all the innings so far, fella. Now it's time for Spider-Man to show what he can do. First, I'll get up to the top turret where the alligators can't reach me.
Ha! He forgets there are 3,000 different kinds of lizards on Earth, and I have the powers of all of them. He has never seen a gecko lizard slither up a wall.
He beat me to the top. Now I'm trapped between the lizard and the gators below. They're battering the wall to make it crumble. Can't stay up here much longer. When you talk about powers, pal, don't forget that spiders have a few themselves, such as the power of swinging on their webs.
Bah! That is nothing. You are only postponing the eventual outcome. Sooner or later, I will destroy you.
I ought to have a record made of that line. I hear it all the time.
Don't you realize yet that your web isn't strong enough to hold me?
Well, you can't blame a guy for trying. I've gotta keep him on the move, so that he forgets to grab his serum and toss it into the swamp. For if it should spill into the swamp, we humans will never be able to stop the new race of lizard creatures that will emerge. You may be stronger than me, Liz, but I still say you're too slow to keep up with me. Now, all I have to do is flip back and bolt the door behind me. The gators, how did they get here so fast? Good thing this door bolts from both sides.
Now it's just you and me, Spider-Man, and no way for you to escape me. Wherever you go, I can follow.
Can't go any higher. He's right under me. Don't dare let him grab me with those powerful arms.
Ow!
Nice try, but you've got to be faster than that to snag a spider.
As Spider-Man plunges toward the floor below, grasping his life-saving strand of web in one hand, he lunges out skillfully and
Gotcha!
Then, in midair, the amazing costumed crusader summons all his speed, his unerring skill, his lightning-fast reflexes, and whisks a small vial from his belt.
Thanks for joining me, Lizard. It gets lonesome tumbling down alone. Hold it, Liz. This'll only take a second. I did it! Now, if only... Ugh!
Your time has run out, Spider-Man. Now to finish you off.
Why doesn't the serum work? What did I do wrong? What? His tail. It's like a runaway sledgehammer.
I warned you that you are no match for me, and now we will end this forever. As soon as I have disposed of you, I will spill my serum in the swamp, and the world will be mine.
Got to stop him. Can't give up.
But suddenly...
My head! My brain! What is happening to me?
His hands are losing their scaly quality. It's the serum. It's working. I haven't failed.
And then, before the startled eyes of Spider-Man, in the ancient crumbling half-hidden fortress, a fantastic change takes place.
I'm human again.
The nightmare has ended. At last. It's over.
You have only one arm again. Every last vestige of your lizard identity has vanished. Without the lizard controlling those alligators, it's a simple matter for Spider-Man to keep them at bay. And now, I'll take you home, Dr. Connors.
A short time later...
My darling, if not for Spider-Man, I might have never held you in my arms again.
Oh, Curtis, I can't believe you're really back.
I tampered with forces of nature which must not be tampered with. When I think what might have happened...
Hush, my darling. It's all over now. You must try to forget it.
I'll burn my notes. No one else must ever repeat my experiments. But for now, what price must I pay for what I've done? For the terrible havoc I almost wrought?
You've broken no law. And luckily, you were stopped before you could do any harm. I suggest we just keep this whole affair a secret, among the three of us.
The next day...
Still no sign of your photographer, Mr. Jameson. Want us to send out an all-state alarm?
All I know is I'm paying a fortune in hotel bills and not getting what I came for.
Say, isn't that Peter Parker? Fits the description you gave us.
Hi, Mr. Jameson. I've been looking for you.
You've Been looking for me? Why, you brainless, incompetent.
Hold it. Don't say anything you'll regret. Just look at these pics of the lizard. Think how great they'd look in your paper.
The lizard? How did you ever get these pictures?
I bought them from an old Indian guide I met at the edge of the Everglades.
Well, you wasted your money. Can't you even tell a fake photo when you see one?
Wait, stop. Don't tear them.
You fool! There is no lizard. The whole thing must have been some sort of publicity stunt. But where is Spider-Man? Why didn't you get some pictures of him? You and your big talk. You promised me sensational photos, and all you bring me is a batch of worthless fakes. You've wasted enough of my time. Get packed. We're returning to New York.
But, okay, I'll pack. What about the money you promised me, Mr. Jameson?
For what? The way I figure it, you owe me for your plane fare down here, and half of the hotel bill.
Finally, a weary Peter Parker reaches his home.
Gee, it's good to be back on May.
Now don't get too comfortable, Peter. I have a lot of chores for you to do after your nice rest in Florida.
Rest? But okay, Aunt May. Just let me call Betty first and see if she'll date me tomorrow. Oh, I forgot. She's working late for Mr. Jameson. Then I'll try Liz Allen. Hi, Liz. This is Peter. How about tomorrow night?
Peter Parker, I'll tell you what I told Flash Thompson. I'll thank you not to call me and tie up my phone. I'm waiting for a call from Spider-Man. After him rescuing me the other day and calling me Blue Eyes, I'm sure he'll call. And I don't want the line to be busy when my dream man phones.
Oh no! She thinks Spider-Man has a crush on her, so she won't waste time dating plain, ordinary Peter from Dulville. Only a guy with my nutty luck could end up being his own competition.
And at the office of J. Jonah Jameson, Spider-Man is also very much the topic of conversation.
You mean he sent it for the mail, Miss Brandt?
Yes, sir. After all, I guess Spider-Man can mail a letter like anyone else. It says, roses are red, violets are blue. I'm still at large, so phooey to you.
Well, don't just stand there. Tear it up. Burn it. I'll get that masked menace if it's the last thing I do.
Editor's note. Big news. Next issue will feature the sensational return of one of the greatest villains of all, the astounding Vulture. Reserve your copy at your dealers now. See you soon, true believers. Excelsior.